This is a quick overview of how the situational awareness widget works. The situational awareness widget is all about understanding potential impacts, but really what it does is it allows you to provide an area of interest and find out what intersects with that area of interest. So it's not a modeling tool per se. The first way that you can activate this tool is by simply clicking on the tool itself, wherever it's located on the interface. And something that's very simple to do is simply just draw an area on the map yourself. In other words, I don't have a particular hazard area of interest. I'm just doing some exploration. So one easy way to do that is to draw a point by clicking on the little icon there. And you could buffer it by a mile per se. This could be useful for hazmat scenarios, although there is a separate emergency response guide widget which will generate your areas of interest for that. But what this has done here is simply said, well, what intersects with that area of interest? So there's some mesh, some census areas that this intersects with. So it's going to tell me some quick totals. But of course, we're going to overestimate, right? Because we're intersecting with larger polygons than the extent of our impact. But it's a quick breakdown of who lives in that general area. Another layer I'm experimenting with in this case is looking at the Microsoft building footprints layer, which is a rather large data set, which may or may not provide results depending on how big your query is. We can also look at things like potential shelters that are in the area, public schools, private schools. Looks like there's no hospitals or mobile homes. And we can look at nursing homes. Behind the scenes, I've configured what questions I want to ask of my areas. So I've decided to choose these layers, but the person who sets up this application can really point it against any layer that's available. Except, of course, it looks like the Microsoft building layer is just too big and detailed for this, and I'd probably take this into a desktop software. That's one way to run the tool. In this case, I did a point with a buffer. I can also draw a line myself and then buffer that to get an area of interest. There are a lot of different ways that I can do this. I can even freehand draw a polygon. The second way, and probably more interesting way to use this tool, is to actually provide a hazard area itself, so I don't have to draw it. In this case, it looks like someone estimated a tornado swath. Let me just check here for the most recent tornado. I believe there'll be a more updated one coming from the National Weather Service soon, but here's just a quick estimate, and I can see it here on my map. And now, rather than retracing this area of interest, I'm going to click on it. I can see the little pop-up here. Someone's already actually done some interesting analysis. But what I want to do is feed this into the situational awareness tool. So with the pop-up open, I'm going to say, set this location as my area of interest. I'm going to remove the buffer. In this case, I'm just clicking enter. And now we're running analysis against a predetermined area. So this could be a warning area. This could be a tornado swath. It could be any other layer that we'd like as an input. So there's really two ways to run the tool: draw your own or use a pre-existing drawing. So this is just a quick explanation of how the tool works. There's actually a lot of other capabilities that could be added. For instance, I can download all of my results as a spreadsheet. There's actually another tool that can be turned on to publish new web services to create a snapshot in time. I can even print a quick little report if I'd like, but I just wanted to give you an understanding of how the tool works. On the back end, me as the configurator, this is like the web app in what we call builder mode. I am deciding what layers I want to analyze with my area of interest. So here's where I provide my inputs if I want to add a new one. It's fairly easy to do as long as I have the data. So that's just a little bit of the behind the scenes and how that works. So most of this video was for Rob to just explain how the widget works. I know it's not super intuitive, but once you get the hang of it, it's a very powerful tool. All right, thanks a lot for listening.